Hey, Tom Girls, welcome back. Today we have a young Aussie force to be reckoned with. She's an actress, producer, and the youngest showrunner out there. Stay tuned for Mikaela Phillips.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
High hopes song for you because you are a woman who has had high hopes and dreams and made them happen. Welcome, Mikaela.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to be back.
Thanks so much for coming. Hey guys, welcome to Tom Girl. We have a great one today. I'm your host, JJ Jergens, and this girl, you're gonna have to listen up to her story because you have accomplished so much at such a young age. And I just can't wait to hear more about everything that you've accomplished.
Yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. So let's go.
All right. First, let's start talking about counterplay. So you play Faith Morgan, and this has been just your baby of a project. So tell me a little about this.
Yeah, it's taken off, I think, probably like the last two and a half years, maybe nearly, back in Australia. So it was a project that my mum and I created, her as creator, writer, and director, and me executive producing as well alongside her. So it started out as us coming back to Australia after living formerly here in Los Angeles and being like, let's do something. Like, you know, let's not be stagnant in what we're doing. Let's not wait on people because it's a very waiting game sometimes in this industry. And we were like, we'll do it as a web series. Why not? So we started and set it out to be that first and foremost. And after getting like 1 million views online, after like debuting, we're like, we're onto something. Let's kind of like kick this up a notch, look at a second season and look at doing it a bit more commercial. So one thing kind of led to another and it just snowballed in an amazing way.
I want to break that down a little bit. So how was it when you first like posted it in the original form and you're like, and saw those views just like keep going up and up and up? What was going through your mind?
It was kind of crazy because you're kind of thinking, okay, like we didn't like publicize it. We didn't have like the budget. We didn't have like anyone assisting us like for funding or anything. So it was really exciting and just kind of like, okay, like people love what we're doing. People are enjoying this storyline and what we have to tell and show. So it was really cool, and especially being an Aussie like kind of drama. That you don't really get that like viewership in Australia too much. So no, it was really cool.
What were some of the initial like first steps to like, okay, you guys had this idea and now you're really going to try to make it happen? Because I'm sure there was some like growing pains and stuff in there.
There's definitely been no shortage of the ups and downs and hurdles that we crossed with counterplay. I think I can definitely say that on behalf of me and my mum. But yeah, I think like in the initial probably first stages, it was mostly just getting our head around really wearing so many different hats. So we were like casting, we were location scouting, we were producing, everything, you know. So I think getting our head around that, especially for me, like wearing and juggling like acting and learning like multiple scripts and lines and things that would change just last minute because that's how it goes sometimes, and then like being all behind the scenes and helping out, that was like a lot to juggle as well. And I found my grounding very early on, which was good, and my fitting because I do have background like producing already other stuff, and yeah, no, it was just one thing after another.
You talked about location scouting. You guys shoot on some amazing locations.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about some of the ones you've been on or some of your favorites?
Yeah, gosh. I think my favorite would be we shot at this beautiful like estate mansion in Victoria in Geelong, and it had only like just briefly opened because they had just renovated it, and we're like, hey, like we have this show, it fits perfectly into like how your place looks, we'd love to film there. And long and behold, they were like, yes, like we'd love to. It was great. All of us that filmed there on that day, we didn't want to leave. We're like, that's it, can we stay please? It was literally what you would probably see in like the Hamptons, like a massive estate. So that was definitely a highlight. And I think probably one of the other ones, just because I used to go there so often, was one of our top clubs in Melbourne called the Emerson, and they've been so nice to me. They were so supportive of the show, and we used their location quite a few times. So yeah.
Nice. Now for those people who maybe haven't seen the show or haven't, and you guys can all watch it on Amazon Prime now, tell everybody a little bit about the structure and the families and the drama.
Okay, well, counterplay definitely centers around majority, I would say, the three families of the Hainsworth, the Cornwalls, and the Morgans. So I play Faith Morgan, and it's very much kind of seeing how their lives and their devious secrets and pasts intertwine into new residents, and also the lead male, like I want to say like villain, but he's not that villainous, but that comes back to town and how like his story fits in with everyone else's. So it's definitely a tangled web that you need to keep an eye out on to see if you can keep up with what's going on everywhere.
What's your favorite thing about playing Faith?
Oh gosh, my favorite thing. I guess that like she's different from anything that I've gotten to do so far. I really like that I don't really talk like this as Faith. Like this is just like my normal like Australian voice, but I kind of like polished it a little. So she's just very different. She's very wealthy. She's very opulent. But I like how she's very strong. And you'll start to see like if you watch it that she starts to speak her mind a bit more and question some things. And I definitely relate to that.
Did you shoot all of season 3 already, or is that
Season
still?
3?
Yeah.
Season 3 is in pre-production.
Pre-production,
So
okay.
that one's like still on the cards, like ready to go. So yeah.
So do you know everything that's going to happen with her?
I actually don't. You know what? I know some things. I know the direction of where it's heading because I have to. But everyone always presumes I know just because Mum's writing. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, don't hassle me for inside, like, confidential information. Some things are like actually left for the surprise for me as well, which is nice.
Since you are on both sides, producing and acting in it, how do you like to do that? Like, do you like to see all your scripts in advance, or do you like to just see one at a time to know where you're like how the characters grow?
I think sometimes it is in advance because you'll shoot out of sequence. So you could be shooting an episode like episode 3 one day, and then you'll have like a scene that afternoon, depending on locations or just how it's structured. The film schedule that will be like episode 1. So sometimes, yeah, you definitely have to see it laid out in front. However, we had quite a few last minute script changes when we were filming, so that's always something new, something to adapt to. And definitely, I think, a bit more difficult to adapt to on the producing side than the learning lines and deliver it, like, acting side.
Well, you guys really took this, like you were saying, you took it from your original like web series idea to now having it be on Amazon Prime and Channel 9 in Australia, right? So can you kind of describe that process more and like what doors you knocked on or how you made that happen?
Well, it's actually a funny story. So we had originally gone to 9 with the concept and the idea, and it's kind of one of those, you know, old stories that you always hear from people in the industry that, oh, like we didn't really hear anything, or it wasn't necessarily like maybe someone they're looking for, and you're hounding and you're knocking down doors and doing what you can. It wasn't until the news of Amazon Prime actually that the series was picked up with them that 9 kind of came back and showed interest, which was really nice that they did come back, and it was really, really like, I don't know, what's the word? Like, not humbling, but it was really, like, appreciated that our own country could support it. Like, finally, you know? So a lot of the things I find, like, is Australians, we always have to go out of our country to make something or to do something. So to have them then like step up and be happy to put their name to it and want to air it, and they were really excited about what we had done. It was super exciting then for us as well. But everything, it kind of came just very much in a rush, and we had to actually keep the news quiet for a little bit. So we ended up doing like a big reveal to some of the cast, and they flipped out. They thought we were lying. There's actual video footage of us telling a few of the cast that could make it in person because it was over the holidays. It was like near Christmas when we told them, and they were like, "No, like you guys are joking. Like, come on, Chris, come on, Mikaela." They're like, "What? Like, are you serious?" So seeing their reactions was really fun as well.
And how did you go about getting Amazon Prime on board?
Amazon Prime actually found us. So because it had done so well online and had hit like such a great peak on social media and views, someone had actually reached out and said, "Hey, have you guys thought of putting this out on Amazon Prime?" And it kind of just all went from there, actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's got to feel good too having them reach out to you.
It does. It was a really nice like process, and we just learned so much going through it, and it's still not over. So there's so much more to look forward to.
Like you were saying, you work on this with your amazing mom, who we have in here too. She's not mic'd up, so she's not going to talk tonight.
No, she'd be like, "Don't put me on camera. Don't put me on camera."
We'll save her. But I want to talk about that dynamic, because how wonderful to get to work with your mom through this whole process. Or some people might be like, "No, I could not work with my mom during this." So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely like we have our moments. Like people think like we're just like this like cardboard cutout or something. We have our moments, but I think it's most mostly because we do see some things a little creatively different, not in a bad way, but I'll be like, oh, I really think this should, and she'll be like, well, no, like this is going this way, and then we'll find a compromise. So it always works out really well, and we get on. Like, people call us the Australian Gilmore Girls, so I think that pretty much like says it all. We have a really close relationship, so it makes working really easy.
Is there going to be maybe a new series with that concept in mind?
I don't know. Maybe that's for like the E Network or something, some reality show.
Add that to your list of development projects.
I mean, I would never say no to it. You know, be open to possibilities. But I think we'd make funny TV. I mean, we're just us, so you wouldn't have like any of that scripted nonsense. But yeah, like what you see with us face value is what you get. So yeah.
What are some of like what things does she handle and do you handle? What do you find out was like your strengths
for counterplay or just in general?
Kind of just in general, working together or both.
Okay, well, we've actually finished already a new script that is in development and pre-production. So that was something that actually Mum came with me and she like told me the idea and she's like, I've got this idea and it's this and it entails this, and I was like, oh, that is awesome. Like straight away I was like, yes, this is commercial, this is great, and there's a real niche in the market actually for the storyline. So we just started running with it. We're like, okay, log line, script, like let's get going, everything. And then we work like that. Like it's literally like that. So we're one kind of like is like up here, one's down here, one's here. I guess we're like scales. I guess that's like the best way to possibly put it. Yeah.
So when you guys go in and you pitch projects, you go in and pitch them together?
Sometimes it does entail together. Sometimes it's an initial meeting more so like that Mum will handle, just because they want to meet also like the writer more so or the creator. But yeah, like the one that we've just finished, I've actually like contributed writing to, which is really fun. So I'm not someone that's like really wants to go and sit down and write a whole script. That's not my thing. People who can do it, that's amazing, because like half of us wouldn't have jobs without that. People like forget that if you didn't have writers out there, you guys really wouldn't have anything. So respect them.
Yes. Amen.
Yeah. But yeah, so sometimes it entails different things, but I love being in on everything. So yeah, I like the control. I think that's probably what it is.
Oh. Okay, sorry. Just reading a quick note up there for a second because I was going to point to a picture. Okay. We're not seeing the pictures. Anyway,
that's okay.
There was a picture of you. I pulled editing, too.
Right.
So you, with the counterplay, you'll actually go in and sit with the editors and make some of those creative decisions as well. Is that right?
We did. We wanted to definitely have like a hands-on view with the editing. I mean, at the end of the day, that kind of like is what draws it all together. And more so, it was just we knew how we wanted it to look, and we just wanted to execute that, you know. So we had like a great editor. We worked with a couple until we found like the right person, which was good. And yeah, we were in there every day. We're like, no, like that needs to be like more color, like more bright, more vibrant, or, you know, edit this scene, mix that. Like we did like all the music, like all the soundtracking, everything. So yeah, it was like wearing multiple hats, like I said.
And we also had a picture of you in the booth, like doing ADR afterwards. So you guys will go in and reread some lines or things that you need as well.
ADR is pretty essential. They do it on like every leading show that you would watch. So when they have like those scenes where it's like super windy outside, but their voices are clear, that's ADR. So yeah, no, it's so fun. It's always weird because like you hear yourself like playing back and you're like, is that how I sound? And then you try and match it up. So, but you get the hang of it eventually, and it's a fun process. It's kind of like when you're getting to that stage, you're at the end of nearly like production and filming. So it's always good for everyone as well, and the cast and the crew, to kind of take a breather and a step back and just enjoy doing that as well.
What is kind of your shooting schedule per season?
Oh gosh, it was a bit over the place in just terms of that it was a very quick turnaround, and we went straight into season 2 like really quickly. So we initially started filming, I think the first half of season 2 was around October through to December, about a year and a half ago. And then we picked up literally straight in the new year about mid-January or so, and went through to I think about maybe February or March. Okay. Yeah.
Is that then how many days a week? Is that 5 days a week, or how often are you shooting?
It was nearly like every day of the week, I think. So some days it would be just like a 6 a.m. to like full day, like 10 p.m. There was one scene that we shot where we only kind of had like a very light day of filming, because we ended up starting filming at like 5 p.m. and went all the way through to like 1 a.m. So it was a night scene. So that's actually the season finale of season 2, which I think has like become my favorite part of it, of Counterplay, like a favorite scene. it's very like cliffhanger, very dramatic, and it was just really fun to film because it was like so late at night and involves different things.
I got to get into season 2. I was checking out season 1 before this interview, but I got to catch more all of them.
Yeah, definitely. You'll have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Any other like big favorite moments in the show?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I think probably one of my favorite scenes would also be then at the end of season 1. I'll talk about season 1 so people can see. It's the last episode, and it's where Faith confronts Jake Spector about something, and we kind of start to see like the development more of her character, that she's not kind of just sitting in the back or like questioning. She's now like coming into the forefront as a more force to be reckoned with as a female. Yeah.
All right, guys, check those out. So how is this? Because I know you do a lot of other things besides this. How has this kind of grown into your old, like you was like marketing yourself, you now do social things, different projects. How's your career kind of evolved since this?
I think like since like starting Counterplay, it definitely like changed a bit. Obviously like I used to do AfterBuzz, which was so long ago. So from there to now, things have definitely changed. I mean, to say like in Australia, like people know you like when I'm out and about and like at events, like that's different. Like it wasn't like that previously. And then now being here, like breaking into the scene more so is a whole new thing as well. So things have definitely changed throughout. I think having that platform behind us now of like the show and 2 seasons going to a 3rd, and as well as now working on our new projects, I think it does show that you're not kind of just like a one-hit wonder, which is like I'm not. And I definitely want to be continuing doing this like in the long run, like ongoing. Maybe like in a few different elements. Like I really love like cooking, so maybe that would be something I'll explore as well, TV
like
wise potentially, or something. Yeah, so there's a few different possibilities, obviously, but yeah, everything has changed, I would say, from years ago to now. Definitely.
That's fantastic. We had a picture of you up there for one event you got to go to was the Grand Prix, and we had you next to like a Mercedes. So you've gotten to do some other fun events like that.
Yeah, that's one of our big like social events of like I guess like this season or the summer in Australia. So the Grand Prix Formula 1, and then like Mercedes, their rep who handles like obviously all their like PR had reached out and was like, oh, we'd love to invite you to this year's event, like Ladies' Day, and we'll have transfers in the car. And I was like, this is so cool. I was like, I loved the day. I'm someone who loves cars, so I'm not like a real like metalhead, but I don't know like probably I don't even know how to change a tire, but I do. I love cars, and I was like, this is gonna be so much fun. Like it'll be really enjoyable, and it was a great day. Like so pretty and just so nice.
Yeah. Since you're talking about cars and your love of cars, it's a very TomGirl type of thing. What other kind of elements about your life? What makes you a TomGirl?
I think definitely like the first thing that comes to mind, always hands down, is that I'm a skater. So from like 10 years old, I wanted a skateboard, and I've been like longboarding and stuff ever since, and I love it. So I love it, like cruise down by the beach and like go for like a skate. It's like it's super relaxing and therapeutic, and it's a good form of fitness. So that would be one thing that definitely comes to mind. And I don't know if this counts, but probably like another thing would be that most of my friends have always been like guys.
Yep.
So so I don't know if that like adds into it, but probably like those things like come to mind first.
Like keeping up with the boys and being one of the boys. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's great. Well, another thing is just being very powerful and like going after what you want. Like how's it been with you, what you and your mom have done? You're really kind of like, you are like knocking down some doors and really embracing like female empowerment and doing some things that are kind of tough in what can sometimes be a man's world. How do those kind of things feel for you?
Well, thank you, firstly. Like, it's so nice to actually hear that. Yeah, it's. I hate to be like probably like sounding cliche or anything like that, but it's not like it's not known that it can be sexist out there. I think it's opened my eyes in the past couple of years, seeing that it still is very evident, and that is something that like women obviously in general in all industries do like experience, but especially like in film and TV, like it became more evident to me like as of what I've been doing recently. So yeah, like just you gotta work hard. Like I think a lot of people will think if they just like do one or two things or like get a manager or just like go do their classes or whatever it is that they want to do, that it'll kind of come to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's your work ethic, or that's how you want to approach things. That's fine. But I don't know, like if it's just being brought up like with mum and her like work ethic, or just always seeing her like working, what she's been doing, but I'm just someone that's definitely like, go make your opportunities, like see like what you can do and just don't take no for an answer kind of.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. When you really did that and started working towards that project instead of waiting for like the manager to call with a job or the agent with a job, like how did that feel?
Good, because you're taking control.
Yeah.
So I am someone like in like the most non-controlling way I mean this, but I do like control. Like, because if someone's not going to work as hard as me for what I'm going to do, then I kind of don't need you on my team. You know, if I've gotten this far already, I really need someone who's going to keep going at my pace and going to keep knocking down doors and creating history, and that's something that I want to do. So yeah, definitely, I think like that work ethic has attributed to that as well.
And how did you start out getting into acting and hosting all of this?
I started from young. I just always loved theatre and started in theatre when I was about 6 or so, like in Australia. Mum was always in the arts, and then also my teacher at primary school, elementary school, who was like musical and stuff, she was like, oh, you should definitely kind of come in and see like there's a role. We're doing the production of Gigi, and it was like one of our top theatre companies in Melbourne, and I ended up like going, and I don't really remember too much, but I know Mum took me, and then I ended up like doing like their shows that they did, so it was really good, and ever since then it's just kind of been like onwards from there.
What kind of advice would you give to people who wanted to pursue acting or wanted to do things on their own, like you have projects?
For acting, I'd say stick to your guns. You could do all the training out there. You can go to every workshop, and sometimes that can be more detrimental. Just speaking from like other actors that I've seen from behind the scenes, like the producing side, you do see that sometimes like you get so in your head of like, I have to do it this way, that you can't follow maybe a direction of a director, and it can like kind of like ruin something. So I think, yeah, just do like what you feel comfortable, do just really like what you think like you should be doing. I'm not saying don't do classes and stuff, but like, yeah, definitely don't lose like what your talent may be. So if it's like comedic timing, don't try be then too dry or like serious. Like, definitely do that. And then in terms of like going for what you want or like creating your own opportunities, yeah, there is so many resources out there. There are so many other actors, producers, musicians that want a platform, that want that break, or that want to collaborate. So there's no way that you definitely can't make something for yourself. Like, we have all the technology, we have so many options, so many platforms. Like, just start. Seriously, start, and the rest will flow. You'll find your feet, you'll collaborate with someone or whatever it is that you want to do, and just keep going. And don't listen to what people say.
Love it.
That's probably the best thing, because people definitely want to like sway you or get you off your path or anything like that, or just because like, you know, they can't do it. So yeah,
jealousy. And, any tips on finding people to collaborate with?
Social media. Casting websites, you know, Star Now I know is a big one. What else is there? There's like Backstage. There's so many things like in different countries as well. And just like social media, there's so many things. YouTube, you know, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. What else is there, you know? So there's so many different ways. I think you can definitely find people out there, and don't be afraid to like reach out to them. You know, what have you got to lose? They're just going to ignore you or not reply. All right, next. Yeah. Like, thank you, next. Like, move on to the next. You know,
cue the songs.
Yeah.
Has there ever been anything along the way that where you felt fear or had a situation that like set you back, or a time when you like pushed through something and you looked back and was like,
I guess it was probably. I think like we all have those sometimes, like just you're a bit worried of like how maybe something will be perceived, or are you doing the right thing? Because some people like leave their jobs, and like I wasn't working this like period of doing counterplay, like it was what I was doing full time. So there are different things where you'll be like, oh my gosh, like I don't want the bank account to go low, or like there's certain things everyone will have a fear about. But I think maybe like the one time would be, it was definitely quite a few years ago. It was around the time I was back here in LA, and I think it was just before I started doing Buzz. And I was kind of like that teen to adult stage, and I was like, I don't know like what I really want to do. Like, I've been doing this so far, and I just kind of hit a standstill. And I remember like talking to Mum, maybe, and I was just like, yeah, like I don't know. I don't know, like, should I be doing this? I was just really like trying to find what I wanted to stick at and keep going at, as I was kind of hitting a standstill of what I was doing at the time. And yeah, I just ended up finding my my footing, and it just kept going. And yeah, so I think that was like probably maybe the only time I was like, I'm running out of time. Like, I'm going to be in my 20s. Like, I need to figure this out. And I think so many people think that. Like, it's such a young age. Like, even friends that are in college, like, I have to, like, make something work. I have to go to college. Like, so I think maybe it's like, I don't know, like a quarter life crisis thing or something. But you can feel like some pressure at that stage to have it together by a certain age. So
yeah, I definitely agree. I remember graduating from school, and I played basketball at the time, and so I didn't have hadn't done as many internships as I should have or whatever.
Right.
And I just kind of was in that point too, just like for once in my life I didn't know like what the next step was.
Because you're like, if I do the wrong thing, I'm gonna be stuck at it for so many years. But
that is one thing about our schooling. I don't like that they do that. They try to like pigeonhole like college kids so early to like make that choice, and I feel like you need that time to kind of to figure it out, to live life and kind of see what might be out there for you.
I mean, schooling's completely different in Australia, so but like it's so like drummed in, I feel like the whole college thing, like it's in everything, like your TV shows, your movies, like just friends that I've met, like their parents and stuff. So it's definitely a different outlook for sure.
How much time are you spending now in the United States versus Australia?
Oh, I only just got here like end of last year. So, and then we were on the East Coast as well. So just back in LA just before Christmas. So it's been really nice being back. I have missed it so much and I love it. I love it here.
Well, I know you're a travel person too, following you on Instagram. So what are some of your spots either in the United States or anywhere that you like to travel to?
Right. I haven't done Europe yet, which I definitely want to do. I want to do Italy, I want to do Greece, I want to do the islands, London, Ireland, Scotland, the whole lot. But here, I think my favorite place would definitely be Manhattan Beach. I say it like all the time, but it's my favorite place. It's that little bit like just out of everything, but it's still like it's not super suburban or quiet. Like there's a lot going on, and it's the beach. Like to me, like I've always grown up by the beach, so. Like we're now like in the valley pretty much, we're like North Hollywood, and it's like it's completely different lifestyle. So I love being by the beach. I have to be by the beach.
And if somebody was going to go to Australia, what would you tell them places they had to go see or things they had to do?
I'd say definitely go up north to our like islands, the Whitsundays. They are like gorgeous. I haven't even done it yet, but I'm telling you to go do it because you won't regret it. It's beautiful. And then I would say just be prepared for a really long flight. Like, if you're a bad flyer, good luck. And if you're a good flyer, just still be prepared. It's like 15 hours. It's not fun. And I'm a good flyer, and like I just don't like it. It's too long.
Lots of books and movies.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm really tired.
Oh, yeah.
Well, another opportunity I want to ask you about. I noticed on your Instagram, were you a fitness ambassador for
F45? I was for a short time. They just opened up their new like fitness studio, and the opportunity presented itself with them, which was really, really cool. And yeah, it was a great like little like short-term collaboration that we did, and it was really good.
Yeah. What are some things that are if you could work on any project or with anybody, what are some dream projects out there for you?
Oh gosh. What isn't? Definitely people I would want to work with. I think I have to put it out there, like Nicolas Cage. I am a real fan of his. I love his movies. He'd be perfect on something that we are working on at the moment. And I'd love to just work with him on anything. I think he's just so like in depth and in touch and brings everything to life that he does. I feel like Dylan O'Brien would be really cool to work with as well, like a younger. They're all males, aren't they? I was like, I should probably put a female in there. If I had to put a female, I would say Melissa McCarthy.
Nice.
I would love to like do some more comedy. I don't know if I'd be good at it. I think I would. I would love to explore that side of things. I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but like I think she'd be hands down like so funny and just so great to work with, and another female that has just kind of taken Hollywood by storm in a way. So it would be a great.
And one told early in her career too that like there wasn't a place for her in comedy and things as well.
And I remember watching her like on Gilmore Girls, thinking this girl's so funny. Like I love Suki. Like where do I find me a Suki? Like come cook for me and everything. Me and my mom. But and I remember seeing like her comedic like skill from there, and I always thought she was funny. And
well, maybe she'll be in your guys' remake of the Gilmore Girls.
We need to write something for her. We definitely need
to. The Neighbor or something.
Yeah, no, she would be really fun to work with, definitely.
Fantastic. Well, Well, I think you can put whatever you get out there, you can make happen. So put that in the universe tonight.
It's out there. Melissa, give us a call.
Yeah. Well, each week we have a tradition here of saying the Tom Girl of the Week. And in honor of you and your successful, like, producing, go-get-it kind of attitude, I picked another female who I love and I think you should work with, too, because you'd be great. But Emmy Rossum, because she's, of course, in Shameless, which we cover on the after show here. But she is just on the cover of Shape magazine this month. And in there, she's just talking about, kind of her evolution, too, and how now she's just, like, in such a good place and strong and knowing, like, what she wants and what she wants to do, too. She just left Shameless this past year, which was after the season that'll wrap this spring, which was a tough decision for her because she's, was such a big part of that show, but time for her to do her own projects and just talking about her fight for getting equal pay and like changing her diet, loving her body, loving her curls and makeup, just embracing herself as a female. So she gets the Tom Girl of the Week this week.
I'm going to have to check it out, too.
Yeah,
I haven't read it yet, so I'll check it out.
Yeah. Well, back to you. All right, before I know we're just about out of time here. So I know we can't go into details, but say what's going to be like on the plate for you coming up.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it's working on a few different things that are in development and pre-production. So one is a feature film, and one is also a new TV drama. So it's a bit more of a mystery. I really can't say too much, but it's definitely going to be good. Like, I mean, it's going to be good. And it's definitely got a few options at the moment where it can go. So we're actually kind of in the talks with that at the moment, whether it'll be network, large streaming platform that everyone knows, or so one or the other. But I can't wait to just finally be able to announce it and stuff. Yeah. But so much work, as you know, goes into all of that. So yeah, those are the two things really on the horizon at the moment that are really putting on my focus too as well, but there's heaps of other stuff as well.
And how are you balancing it all? How do you find the time to?
Not too bad. It's a lot easier because I don't obviously have like a filming schedule at the moment, so that's really been nice. So it's being able to devote all that time into like the pre-production, the development is essential. So being able to balance just between the two isn't too bad. And then there's a couple other opportunities that are probably like presenting themselves along the way with other scripts and stuff. So it's been not too difficult. So, and I've been getting in my beach time at the beach. So it was a nice 73 Fahrenheit degree day the other day. So I got in a little bit of sun time. So I'm happy. If I can balance beach and work, I'm happy.
You should do that little walk down to Hermosa too. Like I love to do that strand between Manhattan and Hermosa.
It's really good. I'll just be skating that. I'll see him. Like,
there you go. Run by. Well, you are just lovely. I can't thank you enough for coming in. I think it's so fun that you used to be at AfterBuzz. She was saying we had an old studio and she used to come into that when we worked there too. So
it's so good to see her.
So welcome home and back to AfterBuzz too.
Thank you. It's been so good being back, and thanks for having me, JJ.
No, of course. Thanks for taking the time. Tell everybody where they can follow you on all your social medias and keep in touch with you.
Everything is Instagram at Mikaela Phillips, and then Twitter is Mickey MIKI_Phillips.
All right, guys, and you can follow the show at TomGirl TV. You can follow me at JJ.Jurgens. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you here again next week. Bye-bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.